Well, if you saw the show last week, I was able to fill my Illinois gun tag on a good buck down in southern Illinois. Burn. Well, he's got tall tooth, man. He's got real tall tooth. Well, I still had another tag in my pocket left over from that bow season, so we were heading back to a honey hole of ours, one of my favorite spots. It's right there in the heart of Pike County, Pittsfield, Illinois. Now, we've been going to Oak Ridge Outfitters for pretty much as long as we've been doing this on TV. You know, it's a home away from home for me. It's a place where I kind of got my Midwestern deer hunting career started out there.
Smoker Jack blood in Pike County.
I don't know if you heard his counting. He did over 1,000.
You know, I killed my first buck in the Midwest out there. Good 11-point buck. I've never been so happy to find a buck in all my life. The plan is I'm gonna meet my producer Josh, who also has an Illinois tag this year. He's gonna team up with Josh the guide, Josh Dice, who works for Oak Ridge Outfitters, and they're gonna form Team Josh. So it's gonna be Team Josh and then Team, I guess you could just call me and Dean Team Awesome. You know, late season hunting can be tough, but we knew with the Dice brothers and Andy Fessler and his family that no matter what, we were gonna have a good time.
We're back here in Illinois, one of my favorite stands. We got in here this morning, had does, it looked like does, all bedded down under the tree stand, and we bumped a few deer when we came in, which I wasn't too happy about, but sometimes you can't do anything about that. So we're sitting here now, and we had a beast of a deer, walked the same trail that this deer last year we called Brow Tines. He used to walk that same trail. So I'm thinking, based on what the wind does, we're gonna need to make a move. It's real cold. It just started to spit some snow a little bit. So we're gonna sit here probably all day and just sort of observe, because it's the first day of the hunt, and just see what time the deer are moving.
This is the first day of the hunt. I got my man Josh, another Josh, in the tree with me right now, filming. Cameraman for the cameraman. We're hunting like an Oak Ridge, really, at Oak Ridge. We got a creek down below us. And I'm trying to catch them. Going to some bean fields out here. Got about 2 or 3 more hours of light left. That'd have been bad if my bow fell out of the tree. That'd have been real bad.
Well, the first day, you know, we weren't really seeing that much. Second day hit, and it brought the snowstorms, man. It started snowing like crazy. A little kid and you love to hunt in the snow. It's just like playing in the snow, and we don't get to hunt in the snow a whole lot in Virginia, maybe once a year, if we're lucky. It just has sort of a, plus it's Christmas time, and it's kind of neat. 1955 called and they want their word back. I gotta stop saying neat, that's just ridiculous.
My daddy still asks about you. I tell him you're doing fine. The truth is, babe, I don't know nothing, 'cause you never even told me goodbye. Ain't that a lie? 'Cause I don't know who you are anymore.
The second morning here at Oak Ridge Outfitters. We've had the camera covered up pretty much all morning. Trying to protect it from the elements here, but we've seen about 6 does. Everything seems to be just bedding down, just trying to ride the weather out, so.
Well, we've been sitting in the snow for a few hours, a couple hours now. And hadn't seen a single deer. I'm pretty surprised at that, actually. Now, they could all be out feeding. This is kind of their bedding area, but I would have thought we'd have seen something get up and mill around. They might all be bedded down, waiting for it to slow up a little bit. They got to start moving in this real cold weather. I mean, they got to eat. So, sit on a food source this afternoon should be a slice of fried gold.
Well, the snow kept coming, and we decided to jump in some ground blinds for the evening hunt, more or less just to protect our camera gear.
'Cause I don't know who you are anymore.
even though the does were out of range for me, Team Josh had some does moving in to their horse trailer that it looked like they were gonna get a shot at. Josh was having to kind of crouch and shoot between metal posts and the trailer. Ends up shooting, just buzzing this deer, giving a little bit of a haircut as it went right over the back straps.
I had ranged her at 40 yards, and all the commotion and heat of the moment, I didn't realize that she had walked towards me about 5 or 10 yards. And she was alert, so she ducked, but I'm done making excuses. It's a good thing I brought 5 arrows.
We moved from one side of the field to the other the next day, and no, he had said, you know, I just wish a buck would come from behind that creek, cross right here to my left and give me a shot. He no more than said it and looked over our shoulder, and here comes a pretty decent 9-point. Walked into the field and turned on a rope like we were just leading him and walked straight to us. The tree that we were in, it's like a hand, and we needed to shoot the deer between one of these two trees, draw back here. The deer stopped behind the first tree and just would not budge and just stood there. He bounded a couple times out to probably 45, 50 yards through the brush.
No way.
Angled away, stopped at 75 yards.
70-some yards.
Stopped at 85 yards and just stood there.
I ain't wasting my time on you.
Start with.
We snort wheeze and he just never presented a shot, but probably one of the most memorable deer hunts I've been on just because of the encounter and being that close and not getting it done.
There's not a lot to tell about that one. I'm pretty sure you saw it after. He still was never spooked. I don't understand. It was just a sixth sense. He just knew it. I never even saw him smell. He just decided to change his mind or something. because you're like, yeah, let's kill him. And he was like, what? Kill who? No, thank you. Oh. Sorry I messed that up, but I was like, I can't stand having a deer that close so you don't get a shot.
Well, the first few days we were kind of bouncing around from farm to farm trying to figure these deer out, exactly what their patterns were during this late season. And I got to tell you, between the moon phase and the changing weather, it was kind of tough. They had us a little bit fooled at this point.
Going through life the righteous way, the only way, so the preacher would say. You put me on the Jericho road, barefoot and smiling, standing there by the piano. Well, I dreamed I heard that whippoorwill sing. Yeah, she sang my song and called me by name.
What we determined was basically that the deer were moving mostly in the middle of the day, from 10 in the morning until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So all that meant was we were going to have to hunt a little bit harder and stay out there all day long, which is not a bad thing in the early season. That's kind of easy to do, but when it's 9 degrees sometimes it gets a little tougher to stay in that stand all day long.
Together like a patchwork quilt, your bougainvilleas bloom, it'll never will. The lessons I remember and some that I forgot are precious and pure now, like a one honeysuckle drop. Well, I dreamed I heard that whippoorwill sing. Yeah, she sang my song and called me by name. Starting all over again. Yes, I'm starting all over again.
Well, the last day is upon us. We have made it. This is it. This is all we've got. And usually Red Arrow historically always shoots a deer on the last day.
We're back here in the honey hole where I killed my 9-pointer last year.
We're watching this little 8-pointer chase this doe, and all of a sudden I hear footsteps coming. So this buck has turned his attention from us to this other smaller 8-pointer, and a fight is about to go down. that. Well, he snort wheezes this buck, runs him around a little bit, and then he starts to leave. I ranged this one gap out in front of me at about 45, 46 yards, and that was the last opportunity I was gonna have to shoot this deer. Smoked him, man.
Big old 9-pointer, baby. I smoked him right behind the shoulder, 45 yards. I passed on him right here at 20. I said to Josh, I said, is he big enough? Is he big enough? And because we've been seeing this huge 170-inch deer, but we gotta leave today. We were supposed to be in Ohio. We've been seeing a monster buck. That is a good Pope and Young 9-pointer, man. That is a good Pope and Young. He's tight, but he's heavy, and he's got a real tall rack buck. I mean, I'm thinking, is he interested? He's not that interested. He's downwind. But now he's starting to get excited, and he snort weed, so I'm starting to get excited. Thank you, Illinois. We're out. Seems like those TV people plan it, and they say this is the last evening. This truly was the last morning. And this buck right here, we've seen 3 bucks like this. We've seen a 170 plus deer. Andy has got the bucks, man, and I'm just tickled to death. Good gosh, this is awesome.
This time didn't turn out like that, man. We hunted our butts off. We moved around, we moved stands, we strategized, we looked at trail camera pictures. We did everything we could to hunt right, and sometimes it just doesn't work out.
You know, it's just frustrating when the moon's full and deer move at night. It's been kind of a rough, cold week. But even still, we've been seeing, 20 deer a day, so it is what it is. It's still hunting no matter how good a spot you're in, so.
Me and Dean saw some pretty good deer. One deer that I could have shot but passed on, and we just did not get that Pike County bruiser that we wanted to in bow range. Now, Team Josh, they saw a ton of deer, had a great encounter with a really good buck. And Josh got to take a shot at a doe, but things don't always work out. The good news is the holidays are right around the corner. It's Christmas time, and I get to go home and do my favorite thing, which is spend time with my family. And we had a great hunt out there in Pike County. I can tell you what, 1 week of not killing a deer is not going to deter me from going back, because I know the kind of monsters that are walking around in the woods at Oak Ridge.
Let's not talk about the miss. Let's talk about the.
We're sitting there with this eagle beat. Let me do that. We're sitting there with this eagle beat. We're sitting there with this food plot.
Or doesn't do the right thing, they can wax his rear end. Josh, the cameraman Josh, well, that gets confusing because cameraman Josh is hunting. He's watching me right now. He's editing this.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about deer movement too much in Virginia. We just drop the tailgate and deer move.
Stories about Illinois, particularly Pike County, Illinois, and the big deer that it happens. We need a punching bag right here. I'm gonna knock the out of something when that happens.